Hey, people. Good afternoon, Justice Warriors. We are on live. How are you guys? I'm so happy to be back. I'm just really happy to be back with the routine of doing a couple of lives a day. I really like it. So, as long as it works out from the end of the audience, I will keep at it. It's just a nice way for me to structure my day. Um, so if you are here, please say hi so I know that my sound is working and I know that I have at least one person in the house. If no one's here, then that's fine too. I'll just go ahead and go by the notes that I have to kind of pick up where I left off this morning. Oh, and my computer was dying because I didn't have it plugged in. I thought I did. And hey, Caleb Lee, good afternoon, Zena. Thank you for saying hello. So, yeah, if you just heard me say my computer was not plugged in this morning when I thought I had it plugged in. So, yeah, that's all that was going on. Hey, Jill, Rose Thorns, and Sherry. Oh, you're addicted to my videos too? I'm addicted. So let's make it a healthy addiction, right? I was talking about healthy versus unhealthy addictions yesterday. Yeah, I really enjoy this creative process. Like, I had no idea that it was a creative process. Um, it's just fascinating to me. So this morning I showed you guys my super cool Christmas tree ornament that one of the viewers had made on, I'm trying to get where there's no glare, had made on, there we go, and the light's even better. On Amazon, she had them made. And then she sent them to a few of the creators. And I just think it's amazing. At first, when she told me about it, I was like, I don't know. And then once I got it in the mail, I just love it. I think it's really cool. It says, "In loving memory, beautiful Kylie, 2005, 2022." So touching, just very, very well made. So I'm encouraging her to make them available to the public. If you guys are interested, I will let her know. So she's the regular watching the show. I won't say who she is since I haven't asked her for permission yet. But I would imagine that she'd make more if she doesn't have more already. Mm-hmm. Mark Molina says, I want one. And you know what? It looks really cool on the tree. And it's just such a gorgeous commemorative, in my opinion. So let's see. I want to look at my phone real quick because I got one of my kids out Christmas shopping. Sorry. And she keeps asking for my advice. So I'm going to tell her to go with the first one. All right. Sorry about that, you guys. That time of year, getting all of our last minute things finished up. Oh, it's exhausting, isn't it? But anyway, I want to get into the cases that we're talking about. And so many Ks, right? So it's not a trio of Ks, it's actually a quadro of Ks. So let's see, we all know that we're looking at Kaylee Goncalves in the Idaho 4. We all know that we're working with Kyely Rodni, Ms. Kyely Rodni, in the Truckee Fucky. And then yesterday I started discussing the case of Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner, the lesbian couple that was murdered in outside of Moab, in the La Salle Mountains. So, I really want to be respectful of the families with every case, especially the case with Kylen and Crystal, because that's like a closed case. They pinned it on this guy Adam, who didn't really know them but had worked with Crystal briefly, and they said, yeah, he's homophobic and that's why he did what he did. And it's just never added up for me at all. Kylen and Crystal had been texting their friends that there was a creepy guy camping near them. If they knew that if they recognized this guy Adam, they would have said this creepy guy that we know that used to work with Crystal. So because they just said creepy guy, they didn't know him. So I don't think it was Adam. I, in my heart of hearts, don't feel like that's a closed case. And in my heart of hearts, you guys know who I think it is if you were watching earlier. And it sounds like I'm not alone on that island thinking that Brian Laundrie probably killed them out of retaliation for thinking that Kylen was one of the people that called 911 from the Moonflower a year ago, August 12th, with the Gabby Petito domestic violence case. So that brings the issue into play of how dangerous domestic violence is, not just for the target, the victim, but for anybody who's anywhere in the vicinity. It's such an explosive, violent, passionate, I hate to use that word in that negative sense, but these people are out of control. So it's really scary to try to intervene with domestic violence. And if this was Brian Laundrie killing Kylen and Crystal 2 days later at their campground, that's kind of a perfect example of what I'm talking about in my suspicions with the Idaho 4, in my suspicion of there being an element of that in Kylie Rodni's case. And domestic violence doesn't have to be from a significant other type. It's anybody in the family. So it can be siblings, it can be parents, it can be children. Um, Domestic violence is a very, very serious issue that is uncomfortable to talk about, right? So that's why I'm talking about it, to try to open up that conversation. So let me go ahead with my spiel. Everything I say is my opinion only, and it's simply for the sake of conversation, trying to open up a discussion, hoping to be educational, and last and least, um, YouTube is an entertainment platform, so I do like to address that and include that as part of my spiel. So if you don't mind, please hit the thumbs up, like, don't share. I'll tell you why. If anybody else has seen Lake Time Living's newest, I think it's his newest. He's kind of on a roll, so it might have been the second to the newest. Um, he said that right now on YouTube, when you share something, it automatically unsubs you to the something that you're sharing, which would explain the situation that Kevin Neese had shared in his last video last night, that he's lost like 40 subs in the last week. And he was like, what's that about? Like, is YouTube just canceling them? So yeah, it sounds like it could be a glitch in the system that right now, if you share something, it's going to unsub you. That all that means is you have to hit the sub button. So go ahead and share away. Just make sure you're still subbed to the ones that you want to be subbed to. So Dilly Owens says Brian could have been paranoid thinking they saw something. Believe me, if they saw something, I don't think they'd be sleeping in their tent right there. Okay. I think I follow what you're saying, Dilly, that if they had seen the domestic violence, that they wouldn't have been camping out. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you're saying. Mm. So Larissa says more deaths happen by an intimate partner than from a random stranger. Right. And, like with this situation with the Idaho 4, personally, it really drives me nuts when people start talking about like Ted Bundy and just some rando going through town. Clearly, the dog is a really good indicator. So I just heard on one of the shows that I was watching in the last 24 hours that Steve Gonzalez said that Kaylee and Maddie slept with Murphy in their bed. Okay. That's a key piece of information because allegedly somebody put Murphy in Kaylee's old room by himself without any furniture, without any blankets, and did the deed. So that's just more information that leans lends itself to the direction that I lean with thinking that this is a domestic violence situation. So, um, so yeah, I mean, obviously, whoever did it had a mass amount of rage and hostility and aggression and entitlement and control issues and let's see what else. I mean, just, a very high level of comfort with being in that house, knowing their way around that house in the dark, um, confident that they could go into that house and do what they were going to do and not get caught. I mean, it to me, it's just stacked so high that it was an intimate partner of one of the girls and probably the one that was more brutally assaulted. So it's just really frustrating to me when people are trying to act like this might not be domestic violence when it's screaming domestic violence. It's screaming domestic violence, people. I don't think I'm alone in that opinion. So I'll read some of your lovely comments. And now Jack D has Murphy. Right, right. It's pretty sick. I know with my dog, someone may get in the house, but no way they would get out. Yeah. Yeah. I feel so bad for the family and friends, but Murphy too, poor pup. He knows who did it. Exactly. The dogs always know. I just wish that they could speak human. Seriously. They are always, they're often the lifesavers in situations like that, and they definitely know the truth in situations like that. Um, and let's see. So I wanted to again kind of touch on all three of these cases. So Ms. Kylie Rodni, Idaho 4, and Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner. And I do apologize for throwing another name in there that is so close to Kaylee and Kylie. So I think Kylen is how you say her name, Kylen. And then to make it worse, her stepdad, his name is Kyle Treholt. He's a really bad guy. I was mentioning at the end of my last video how Kylen Schulte's little brother, let's see, I wrote his name down here. McKinnon, Mac, Mackion. He went by Mackie. Mackie Schulte was shot in the face by his friend when he was 15 years old in 2015. So the end result of that heinous situation that cost him his life was no charges. Okay. The family, that Treholt side of the family, let me just say this really politely. They would fit right in with Truckee. So they're a Montana family. And it's interesting that Sammy's parents have Montana contacts because they're in the same line of business. So there was a lot of problems there. And, they didn't want to press charges on the 15-year-old getting shot in the face by his friend because, there were already people in jail. Uh, Kyle's been in jail. He's a convicted felon. His younger brother, Wade Treholt, and Kyle Treholt, they're both convicted felons. There's a lot of horrible stuff going on there. So Kylen had a baby that was a year old, I think, when the baby died. And that's all another nightmare. Kylen was way too young to be having a baby. So I'm just going to leave that alone. I don't want to disturb that any more than I just have. Okay. Um, let me read some of these. Larissa says, I think definitely jealousy and rage. I feel like when narcissists don't want you to leave, come on, which Kaylee was going to do, they do anything in their power to get you to stay. You know what I just heard this morning, you guys? OMG. man, I'm curious if anyone else has heard this, give me a 1. If you haven't heard this before, give me a 2. So I just heard this morning that they'd only been broken up for 2 weeks. I had not ever had a time frame on when this breakup had occurred with Kaylee Goncalves and Jack D. 2 weeks. Wow, that blew my mind. So yeah, if you already knew that, give me a 1, and if this is news to you, give me a 2. Um, I want to say that I heard it on News Nation because when I hear things, I leave a lot of skepticism with whatever it is that I hear pretty much across the boards. But when I hear something on News Nation, I take it at face value. And maybe that's incorrect of me to do that, but that's what I do. So I'm thinking I heard it on News Nation. I'm thinking that was my source. So either Brian Entin or Ashley Banfield. I trust both of them. I trust that if they did put any misinformation out, that they would follow up and say, hey, remember that thing I said? That was incorrect. So yeah, look at you guys and all your 2s. 2 weeks. Like, Larissa, doesn't that just add to the pile of what makes this look like domestic violence? If they had just broken up 2 weeks earlier, holy crap. Okay, but make no mistake, if a narcissist thinks you're serious about leaving, all of a sudden they'll have a little personality they ain't met before come in for a while. Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sickening. Breaking up is always hard. I mean, there's no way around that. Breaking up is extremely difficult for anybody. Um, I don't think that took. I tried to highlight that one. But abandonment issues are hard for any of us, but particularly for a narcissist. Absolutely. Larissa says that's when they realize things are possibly really done and they get out of control crazy. Four Frogs Fat Asses says when JD found out it was done for good and she was leaving, JD snapped. She knew she had to get away because he was abusive. She was hoping to do it in silence, but the plan was spoiled by loose lips. Interesting, Four Frogs Fat Asses. I don't think we've met before. Welcome. I kind of love that name. It's hilarious. I don't know what it means. Um, yeah, Larissa says, personally, I know. Yep. So yeah, Four Frogs Fat Asses, it sounds like you might actually know these people. So I don't know if you want to say anything else or not. That's fine either way. Brian says, I wonder if the breakup came out of the blue for him, so went a bit nuts. So right, and with her just graduating and moving and all that, this and the dog leans to the DV. Right. I mean, that dog was cute, and they had the dog together. And in at least one of those 10 messages that Kaylee and Maddie left for Jack that last night of their lives, and all 10 of those phone calls were between like 2:26 a.m. and 2:52 a.m., I think. So less than 30 minutes. One of them at least was something to the effect of, come on, Jack, return my call. We've got a dog together. So, yeah, it's pretty nuts. Larissa says, I love that name. Are you talking about the Four Frog Fat Asses? I wonder how fast she was planning on relocating to Texas. I think I can answer that, AP. What I've heard on all the channels that I watch, including the news channels, is that the job started in February in Austin, but she was already leaving. She would have been graduating last Saturday. But she had already moved out of her room and she was planning to go on I don't know if it was solo or with a friend, but it wasn't with Jack. She was planning on going to Europe for, I think, at least a month. I don't know if it was longer than that. I mean, a lot of times when people go to Europe if they're going to travel around and see a lot of places. It can be a 6 weeks type of trip. So that's how fast she was relocating to Texas. She wasn't going to be moving to Texas until she got back from uh, Europe, it sounds like. So she was going home, then she was going to take this trip, then she was going to move to Austin. No, I don't, but I was married to one once. Okay, I gotcha. I follow. And Larissa, so thanks. For Frogs Fat Asses was answering my question. Thank you for answering. Although when I ask a question, obviously it's totally up to you. If you want to respond or not is fine either way. So Larissa says, just from his comments alone, it shows how truly insecure he was. That's why he commented the way he did, to make sure people knew that she was his. It's literally dead in our faces that he has jealousy. Thank you for saying that, Larissa. I agree so wholeheartedly. Like, it couldn't be more obvious. And a lot of times people don't want to look at the obvious. He clearly, there's something wrong with that kid, in my humble opinion. Clearly. He has issues, yes. And it sounds like, if you read through Kaylee's social media posts, which I haven't done very much of, that she over the years had posted a lot about misery in her life that sounds like it was probably related to him, that he was emotionally abusive, it sounds like. And who knows, maybe he was physically abusive as well. I mean, chances are, if he's going to go to that extreme, that it's showed up at other times. So that's just so hateful. Dilly Owen says, I hate to tell her, but I think she had 2 dogs. I'm sorry, I can't let my opinion of him go. My bad. I'm not sure what you're speaking to, Dilly Owens. I hate to tell her, but I think she had 2 dogs. I'm sorry, I can't let my opinion of him go. My bad. So yeah, I'm not totally following. If you want to fill me in. I always say jealousy is a deadly thing. And he felt so desperate. Yeah. And the betrayal. When you're feeling abandoned, you also feel betrayed. And honestly, I think betrayal is one of the absolute worst things to feel, which obviously people that know Jack are going to feel betrayed by him if he did indeed do this. And I hadn't really thought about it, the betrayal that he would have felt with her getting ready to leave and not planning anything with him. So, do we know if law enforcement has everyone's phones? I wish we did know. I hope they do. I mean, it's just so hard for me to have faith in this police department that's handling this case. They have a 26-year-old in charge of this quadruple homicide. Sorry, not sorry. That's not right. This 26-year-old is in his 2nd year of law enforcement, as far as I know. That is so wrong. Like, what is going on here? That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Larissa says they look at us as property. Absolutely. Oh, Dilly says Jack the X. So, yeah. She had 2 dogs? Okay. I'm still lost a little bit, Dilly. I'm sorry. Scorpio Joe says hi. And Frogs Fat Asses says, oftentimes when you try to get them help, the family blames girlfriend or spouse because the abuse stems way back and the family doesn't want the problem back. That's a really good point. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It is what I call generational hand-me-downs of problems. And I think JD has mental issues stemming way back. Most likely. I mean, anybody, if he did indeed do this, anybody who did this is completely out of control, crazy, like needs a straight jacket and a rubber room, like 100%, right? I mean, absolutely. Rebecca Soulfire within Perry says, I'm thinking that law enforcement needs to be looking at professors and Jack D, the ex. Yeah, and I don't know why, but I'm going to just let you know that the all caps is something that for some reason we're not supposed to do it in the chat. Um, it doesn't bother me if you need to have all caps for whatever reason, it's fine. But sometimes I think that the YouTube will delete it. So just so you know. 26-year-old in charge of a major case. Yeah, Brian, I know a lot about law enforcement. I've had family members work in law enforcement for a good part of my life. I know a lot about law enforcement, and that is fucking ridiculous. That is out of control stupid. Out of control stupid. Like, that's wrong. That is completely bass backwards. I'm just spitting nails over that. Larissa says, so when Maddie said she told Adam everything, could that explain all the calls to Jack that night, as Adam and Jack were roommates allegedly? You know, Larissa, I seriously have issues with that videotape, audio tape. I don't trust it. I trust that it's those three people walking, but I don't trust that that audio is authentic. And I've heard different people make different things out of what was said, but you know, I don't really want to belabor that point because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is what they're saying it is. Um, so you know, when Maddie said she told Adam everything, you know, and sure, I mean, this is where it gets so dicey because yeah, it might explain some things, and it could be totally unrelated, right? I mean, it's just hard to say. But a couple of things that are really bothering me about this case right now. From the outset, the white car, I felt like was a red herring. And at this point in time, I feel like that white car is like the one thing that the law enforcement has tried to show for themselves that they're not empty-handed. They're trying to say, "Oh, look, we have some hard evidence. We're looking for a white car and we're working so hard. We're going through 22,000 white cars because we're that busy." Yeah, don't you feel sorry for us? Our jobs are so hard. I don't know that that white car has anything to do with anything. And I was going to use for my thumbnail, if I can find it, take a screenshot, a photograph from Jack's rooftop that has a white car. You can see that it's Jack's house across the street, and you can see that it's a white car parked in the driveway that matches this car, this red herring. You know, who's to say? But that brings me back to what Larissa was just saying about the audio tape, the videotape of the three walking that night. You guys probably noticed the white pickup truck, like a king cab pickup truck that kind of pulled into a parking space right near them. Like, what's up with that? What's up with that white pickup truck? I mean, that was 1:30 in the morning. Why would they be stopping there? Was what business was around there that they would have been parking right there? Was it that they saw the three people and knew them? I'm more curious about that white pickup truck right now. So let me see a few of these. No worries, no worries. I meant that they had a joint dog, a joint dog. I love that. And I was saying, no, now she had two dogs because I think Jack is the number one suspect. Sorry. So, like, he's a dog. Is that what you mean? Um, yeah, I definitely think he's the number one suspect. And I think this is just a ridiculous runaround. And I hope that things are under control with this investigation, but it seems whack to me. Maybe he's saying JD was a dog too. Two dogs. Right, Blackella. Gotcha. Dilly, I think Dilly's a female, but I could be wrong. And sorry, I just have vision issue. Oh, Rebecca, if you have vision issue, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Um, and I also think that the white car is connected to a professor and or Jack D. Well, like I said, I'll try to take a screenshot of the image that I saw of somebody making a video from Jack's rooftop and that white car being in it. If I use it for my thumbnail, then you guys will know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's hard to believe anything put out there. I agree. Just a question. I just thought that maybe that could explain some things if it's true. If things are going their way, they are happy. If not, they can't have you. No one will. He or she would take both, and no one else could have them. Right. Having a 26-year-old new cop sounds very similar to having an 18-year-old running the show. Oh, man, Squirrely Burger. Right, you are. Right, you are. Well, and then they can make, it's kind of a setup for the cop that they can blame it on the rookie if it doesn't go well, right? They can say, "Oh, well, this because he's stupid." Really, you would think that the police chief would be in charge of the case. I would think, if not the police chief, the captain, if not the captain, a sergeant. And 2 years is not long enough to uh, qualify somebody to be a sergeant. So it's usually about 7 years. 5 years is like the minimum. Um, let's see. No way a street cam has audio unless it's a spy cam for a stalker. That's what I think, Brian. I think that not only I'm suspicious of an outdoor camera having audio, I'm also extremely suspicious of the statements that are alleged to be made in this audio, that those statements were made right when these people were in earshot of this surveillance camera. To me, it just set off a whole bunch of red flags. I'm just like, I'm not buying this crap. No, I think it's bullshit. And I thought that the white car was BS from the start too. And then I was starting to think, well, maybe there's something to it. We'll see. And now, like I said, I'm feeling like my spidey sense is that the cops just don't want to show that they got nothing. They got nothing. So they're like, yeah, we got this white car. We're on it. We're on the white car. We're getting the video from all over town for the white car for like the last 2 days before, the next 2 days after. I mean, they just opened up the 48 hours before and the 48 hours after yesterday for that white car. A couple of days ago, they said they were going back 24 hours and in 24 hours into the next day. Now 2 days. It's like, so you're still not finding anything? Is that what you're saying? I hope to God that that's not the case. Um, I think white car was used in crime, but it was a rental car that someone's family rented that was involved. Right. I can't see somebody committing a crime like that and jumping into a car. I just can't. Like, I could see them running into the woods, where it's dark. I've just jumped on what we talking about. Okay, so we're talking about the Idaho 4 right now. And Truckee just hurts my heart also because I sense her own mother was involved. Yeah, Four Frogs, Fat Asses. If you watched Kevin Neese's newest live that he did last night, he couldn't say a lot of what he wanted to say, but I think you're on it. Yeah, it's a nightmare, but there's hope in that nightmare that Kyely Rodni is going to get justice. There's a lot of hope right now. So the case is open, it's active, it's being investigated by outside authorities of a higher power. So it could get resolved. I mean, there's no guarantees, of course. But there's hope. There's a lot more hope right now than there has been probably ever in the case, in my opinion. So, hell yeah, I'm a female, a 63-year-old redhead. Those redheads, man, they got tempers. You gotta watch out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of a little strawberry blonde-ish, not really. One at the end, at that, I love this You Were My First Channel. Oh, I was your first channel? Let me read that again. Hell yeah, I'm a female, a old 63-year-old redhead, one at that. And I love this. You were my first channel. Oh, that is so touching. My goodness. That is wild. Um, Thank you. And Nate H needs to be investigated seriously. Sammy helped cover up what really happened to Kylie. I agree 100%. Yeah, I mean, all these rat bastards need to go down. All Anybody involved, anybody who knew anything before, during, or after, they all need to go down. So, let's see. So, let's see, Dilly Owens. It looks like I misread. You're not a redhead. You're a 63-year-old redneck. One at that. So sorry about that. I'm just going through. Let's see what else we got. I thought it could have been Jagger, but Nate H was closer to Sammy than Jagger was. Nate H was in that TikTok dancing with Sammy, and Nate H was exes allegedly with both Sammy and Kylie. Allegedly, Kylie was hanging out with Nate that night. Um, yeah, what a whole gaslighting mind fuck, really. Come on. My cousin was fast tracked in the police force after university. He spent most of his time in the police waiting for an opening um, to CID and sergeant. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Law enforcement is, it's government, and anything with government is kind of moves slower than molasses in January, as my grandma used to say. Let me see. It looks like my daughter might have texted me again. And like I said, she's out Christmas shopping. And she keeps texting me things that she's trying to figure out what to buy for who, what. Um, Jazz King. My company's cameras are audio and video and will pick up 30 feet on audio. Oh, well, that's good to know, Jazz King. Yeah, I see. And I know our technology is moving by leaps and bounds, but it's expensive to have audio. And, you know, it's just, it's so hard to say. I'm going to read a few more of your comments and then I'm going to get back onto my notes. God bless that beautiful girl. He's been amazing. Truckee law enforcement need to serve time. I agree, Brian Haig. I absolutely agree. Dilly Owen says, did you all see Kevin Nice goodbye before Christmas? Oh, I cried. Oh, Kevin Nice did a goodbye before Christmas. Something since after that live last night, or was it before? Because I know he put out a couple things I don't think I've caught yet. Do you think she was killed or sex trafficking? If you're talking about Kyely Rodni, for frogs, uh, it's looking like the former rather than the latter, um, unfortunately. Pixie Knicker says, not DV. I was asleep. My man was giving me a kiss goodbye. I get startled easily, especially in my sleep. I slapped him in the face. I said, I'm so sorry, babe. Oh, that's kind of funny. I'm glad that everything all's well that ends well, right? Autopsy report had markings wrong. Yeah, the autopsy was a farce. I'm thinking that she had been, um, that there were marks on her that were part of a different autopsy that was never going to be shown to the public. Um, Lily Owen says a few hours ago. Okay, just a few hours ago is when Kevin Neese did that one. And it made you cry. Honestly, his song about Kylie, the one called My New Friends, I think is the name of it. That song makes me cry big time. Agree with your thoughts. Pixie Knicker says we both laughed about it. That's funny. Bittersweet news. Kylie is gone, but the investigation is moving forward. Right. That's if the information is accurate, I mean, again, I'm always skeptical. Like I always try to leave the door open because you just never know. But yeah, it sounds pretty much like that's the deal. It's a nice one from Kevin. Yeah, he's really talented. He's quite a musician. He's got mad skills with the guitar and with lyrics. Um, so let's see. I wanted to bring up the commenter yesterday if you guys were here when there was somebody that was just being rude and I just like shut them down. It's like such a distraction, right? And I just don't like to put the time and energy into that. And it was weird, whatever it was that they said. It's like, why are you even in my chat? Like, why'd you come to my channel if you are a hater, basically? But I guess that's the way haters work, is they troll around for the stuff that they want to hate on, and then they hop in and hate. So anyway, I try not to be too harsh. However, I don't have much patience for uh, trolling, and I just feel like the easiest thing to do is just to nip it in the bud. So, I don't like to block people. I really don't, but I will if I think somebody's just being a nasty SOB for the heck of it. And I want to say this is why I brought it up, because of course nobody needs to agree with me, right? I mean, I like that we all have our different opinions. It's just that nobody needs to be mean to anybody else and attacking anybody else. So I don't want anyone attacking me. I don't want anybody attacking each other in the chat. I mean, I don't think any of us do. I think that a lot of my viewers like my channel because I have a no troll policy. And it honestly surprises me that more channels don't have a no troll policy, but I understand at the same time that they um, just it keeps your numbers down when you block trolls. It definitely affects your algorithm. That's what it does. So it kind of messes with your algorithm. However, I don't care. so so I think that's why a lot of people don't block the trolls, is because they don't want to have the algorithm impacted. But I could be wrong. There could be other reasons too. So let's see. The only problem I have with anyone serving time is with all the money involved, they will spend time in a country club. Yeah, I can see that. Haters gonna hate. I know haters love to hate. I like that. Justice equals no BS. Black Hella, that's cute. So again, I'm gonna pick up my phone one last time, and yeah, that was my mod. She says 72 watching, 28 likes. So if you don't mind hitting the like button, it's a free way to help the algorithm and help the channel. And I'm excited that we got 78 people in here. My goodness, that's quite a handful for having gotten out of the routine of doing this. So that's awesome to have you guys back. Dilly Owen says, yeah, my words for the holidays, it was sorrow that brought us together, but it was passion and love that will carry us through. Love everybody. And what is that? Nothing to worry about. Four Frog says we can all agree to disagree and play nice in the sandbox. I've encountered many fake creators as well as trolls on here. Glad you are real. Yes, there are definitely trolls that make these channels and people that I believe are just being paid to propagandize, and they're just full of it. And yeah, it's like it's fine to disagree. I mean, we all have different opinions, and our opinions change based on a lot of factors: information, our mood, the day of the week. I mean, just an endless list of factors. And allegedly is here. Hello, everyone in chat. Allegedly says they might spend time in a country club, but their careers are over. That's a good point. That's a very good point for law enforcement. If they get busted for their corruption, their careers are definitely over. Careers in law enforcement, they can still have their like careers in being criminals, right? Allegedly. Sorry, I'm late. No problem. Better late than never, right? I play nice till it's time not to play nice, being Scottish and all. That's funny. Yeah, those Scots, man. I don't get to comment a lot, but I'm something, Jazz King said. Allegedly is calling himself a troll. Very cute. I like that. That's hilarious. Oh, too funny. That was a P comment, not mine. Right, right. I know. Sometimes when I'm reading the comments, when I watch my videos, I'm like, am I reading the comments or am I saying what I'm my own words? So I'm sure if I can't tell all the time, you guys can't tell all the time. So yeah, I try to keep up, and it's a juggling act, but it's fun. I love it. Nice to catch your live. Jazz King says, I don't get to comment a lot. I'm a long haul driver, but I try to make as many as I can. You know what, Jazz King? I a lot of times am watching the lives on my cell phone, and on my cell phone, I can't comment. So if I'm, like out taking my walk, I like to walk a lot, and I will be watching live, but nobody will know. So I'll be like what they call a lurker. But I'll tell people, yeah, I was there. I was there live. I just couldn't comment. So yeah, it is nice to comment. It I remember when I first started commenting, I thought it was so exciting to be like part of the conversation. And it is. It's really a nice exchange, it's the crowdsourcing thing. And Four Frog says, I have to run, but we'll stop by again for sure. Well, normally I try to do a morning video between 8 and 9 ish. Like this morning, I don't think I started till after 9:30. And then I try to do an afternoon video about 2 to 3, and it's already 3 o'clock. So time's a ticking. Um, so thanks for coming by, Four Frogs, fat asses. Funny name. So let's see. I just wanted to make sure. I mean, obviously, we've been speaking to the Kylie Rodni case. We've been speaking to the Idaho 4, and I spoke some to the Kylen and Crystal case. So those two women were so madly in love. Kylen was only 24. Crystal was 38. Like I said, they were both moms. Crystal had 2 kids that I think were with the ex. She'd had a checkered past, but was getting herself together. And Kylen had had a nightmarish early life experiences. So they were really happy to find each other, and they got married in April. And if you've seen the wedding pictures, you can just tell how thrilled they both are. Um, and they were just, living their lives out there in the LaSalle Mountains. I can't imagine the view from where they were camping. Um, and it's just so horrifying what happened to them. And especially, like I had mentioned yesterday, if they were essayed, I don't know that they were. I might have kind of blocked it out because it was just like so horrifying. It was at least made to look like they were. Um, and yeah, it's just so disgusting. The fact that there were the 10 gunshots on audio tape and all the witnesses to hearing the 10 gunshots that were at a wedding that wasn't too far away. The fact that they had that information from August 14th was the day that it happened, all the way up until what was it? Was it May? No, April. That I think I wrote it down. It was May. It was May 7th that Dog the Bounty Hunter got there. So 9 months. Is that right? Um, yeah, 9 months. So and the police pretended like they didn't know when it had happened. So all of a sudden, Dog the Bounty Hunter gets there on May 7th, and then all of a sudden on May 8th, they say, "Hey, case closed. We got this guy." And then I think that it was kind of like more formalized by the end of May. I'm thinking May 22nd stands out in my mind for some reason. And then I think it was just this last August that everything was like signed, sealed, and delivered, like the case is over. And it's just, it seemed so staged. Like they did not want Dog the Bounty Hunter looking. And let me say that if indeed it was Brian Laundrie that committed this double homicide, you know, the police are already in hot water with what happened with Gabby Petito. And they didn't know that her family would sue, but one can assume that a family is going to sue in a situation like that. And if their fumbling that case also led to these other two homicides, that's two more families that can sue the Moab Police Department. So that's always been my opinion of why they said so quickly before they had any time to investigate at all that Brian Laundrie wasn't a possibility. Um, they also couldn't find the couple when Kylen's dad had called and reported them missing. They said that they went out there and looked around, but they probably didn't because it wasn't that far from their campsite where Cindy found Kylen in a creek. And then it wasn't that far from where Kylen was that the police then found Crystal when they finally showed up. So, you know, the fact that this, I think she was like 60 years old, this middle-aged woman was just like volunteering to help and then came across this horrible crime scene is really unprofessional on the part of law enforcement. That would not be Moab PD, though. I do want to point that out. That would be like the county sheriff, or again, like I was saying earlier today, the National Forest Bureau of Investigations. So let's see. Thank goodness I got my schedule back. I started sleeping till 1 again, not eating healthy. I'm getting my groove back. Thanks to you. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, it's so important to get our sleep schedules and our eating routines together. Um, allegedly says, I hate commenting. Everyone just says I'm wrong until 2 to 4 weeks into the investigation when my theories look right. Then they say it's their ideas. You're so funny, allegedly. I'm pretty sure you're just messing around. Um, let's see what's going on here. So crime crocheter, my hyper focus. I've been calling BS on the fire cam footage, but everyone seemed adamant it was legit. I have called BS on that fire cam footage from day one, and even if it were legit, it was still bullshit. Like it meant nothing to me. Never has, never will. So I'm happy to see that, you know, it just never made sense. I mean, seriously, if that fire cam footage was for real and they pretended that they couldn't find the car right there, like they really put themselves into a jam to say, yeah, we had 55 federal FBI agents standing 50 feet from her car, 55 of them, and they couldn't see her. What? Oh no! It's just a mailman. It's just a mailman. So it's okay, baby. Big action in the homestead. All right. That really took over. You're all right, honey pot. You're fine. See, that's what dogs are so good for. Imagine if the mailman were up to no good. Let's see. Facts. Captain Kurt React says, and Crime and Crochet, we need to start a secret club. Oh, you're so funny. Isn't this our secret club? No. And let's see what else we got going on here. Let me get caught up to was all too convenient when its existence announced. Okay, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the timing of that thing was so stupid. The fire cam footage coming out was so annoying. So annoying. It was all too convenient when its existence was announced just before the autopsy report release. Exactly. Exactly. Like, oh, are they buying the accident theory? Let's release the sketchy autopsy report. I like the way you said that. That's hilarious. Yeah, Brian, all right. You called BS on it on day one also. Oh, and I'll never forget, I'm not going to name the creator, but he was such a fucking asshole saying, anybody who doesn't understand what I'm telling them about this is just stupid. Okay? That guy is a lying sack of shit. So he was part of their propaganda. Like I said, I'm not going to name names, but fuck him. I mean, even if he were in the right, which he wasn't, but let's just say he was, what a fucking asshole. I mean, because people don't want to agree with you, they're stupid. Yeah, right. Got it. Okay. And yes, we're all going to join the secret club. They're coming for you. My heart just jumped out of my body. Brian, was that from the dog and the mailman? Big dog, yes. Big gruff voice, but such a sweetheart. By the way, I did too on the Watts Obsession panel. I said, and I quote, that looks like Tinkerbell floating across the screen. No bumps, no bouncing, no tires, stuck in the sand. Fire cam, don't believe. Yes, yes, you're on it. And I kid you not, I think that a lot of people that were sent that footage under the guise of like, ooh, you're one of the first people to see this. It's a big secret. And look, I think that had malware in it, right? Do you agree with me, allegedly, or does anybody else think so? If you think that the fire cam footage had malware in it, put a 1. If you think that that's silly, put a 2. Um, Also, there were people who downloaded Kylie Rodni's autopsy from the Nevada County site that also seemed to have trouble. There we go. Look at all those ones. Look at all those ones. Oh, you guys are like a breath of fresh air. I missed a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Where was it? Fire cam was a planned distraction. Absolutely. Can't remember the channel even had whiteboard up drawing it. Oh, that was Jeff. I think that was Jeff, the one whose name shall not be said. Ugh. No gray area there. Blockella. LOL. I get your inside joke. Got it. This is a cult now. Oh, is it? Awesome. So Crime Circus is my new cult, and his other channel is called Crime Circus Cult. So yeah, it looks like a lot of people have been super into the work that he's been doing. It looks like he was a pretty popular channel before all of this, but he's just exploding. He just hit like his 200,000 subscribers on the one channel. I haven't looked and seen how many um, subs he has on the Crime Circus Cult channel. But he said that he's going to have a lot more coming out on the Crime Circus Cult channel. If you guys want to keep your eye on that, it sounded like he had a series all related to the Idaho 4 stuff. And for anybody who's not familiar with Crime Circus yet, he has been pumping out some very cohesive presentations of who he thinks is prime suspect number 1. and he's in the same camp as myself and some other people that are in the chat. So, and he's just got a lot of hard, solid evidence, and he lays it out really well, like a lawyer. But he doesn't look old enough to be a lawyer, but he's got the mindset for it for sure. I have caught that guy who said accident, have retracted a thing. Whoops, I agree. A few creators basically calling people stupid if they didn't get it really pissed me off. It infected several computers. Yeah. I want to say, was it the way people were handling the Kylie Rodni case that I just got so disgusted with some of the creators that I had been very loyal to, and I just stopped watching them. I really didn't like the pissing contest that I saw dudes getting into with Ryan Upchurch. It was weird. It was really weird. Thought it was just childish. It's easier to speak audibly, but here goes. Um, and I think a lot of people were upset by Upchurch, like, because he was like the new kid on the block for true crime, and he was just like nailing it. So that was like pushing some buttons, and it's like, so what? If somebody's got a knack for it, good for them. And there's always that beginner's luck too, right? I've seen and heard far too much lately to believe otherwise. And I'm not sure what you are. You're referring to the thing that we had the vote on. My brain, I'll admit it, you guys, I don't even remember what the vote was on now. When I said put a 1 up if you think, was it about the footage? I'm so sorry. This is why I do my things early in the day, because I just start to fall apart by the end of the day. Oh, too funny. Too funny. So yeah, what were all those ones about? I'm like having an Alzheimer's moment. Um, let's see. Oh, the Cult of Xena. You guys are so cute. Um, what's the newest on the Idaho 4? Well, I think the newest that I've heard on the Idaho 4 is that the white car that crashed in Eugene has nothing to do with it. I think that's what I've heard today. Yesterday, I heard quite the opposite. And so who knows? Yeah, AP says his costume creeps me out, but he's awesome. Yeah, the spiders on the cheek is hilarious with like the red under his eyes. I think it's adorable. I mean, I could see somebody being creeped out by it, but I love the lighting, like the spooky lighting. I just think that's so funny. Like I could do that here too, but it doesn't go with the rest of the flowers and all the nice relaxed professional look, right? Um Cult channel had around 34,000 yesterday, and that's probably going to go way up if maybe that's why he's putting those videos on that channel. That would make sense. Let's see, did anyone see CHP captain getting charged with murder for hire? Please don't forget about Crack in the Box YouTube channel for terminally ill boy. Thank you, Dilly Owens. I was totally forgetting the Crack in the Box. Was it Harsh who had that? For this little boy who's terminally ill. Yeah, fill me in, because like I said, my brain starts to turn into Swiss cheese in the afternoon here. So maybe I should get off the live before I just make an utter goofball of myself, right? Because yeah, the Crack in the Box was awesome, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna share that, and then I totally forgot the malware. Right? Thanks, AP. So that's what the one was. If you thought that the malware was in that video footage, and then right, I was talking about the malware maybe in downloading the autopsy. So another question I have, jumping over to another case, is the Trinity Bacchus autopsy. Like, where's that? It's been a while. That should be out. So, but again, if it's Nevada County download off of their site, that's something that we all want to be careful of. And that was how they were doing it before. So my guess is that that's how they'll do it again. But who knows? I mean, also, they were probably getting bombarded with public records requests for Kylie Rodni's autopsy. And they're probably not getting bombarded with Trinity Bacchus's, most likely, I would think. I unsubscribed from a lot of channels over the Kylie Rodni issues and over people talking junk about Upchurch. Yeah, I had people attacking me because I was supporting Upchurch, and I'm just like, okay, you do you, I'll do me, okay? I learned not to judge smarts on appearance from YouTube. Yes, and Johnny Depp helped him. Dilly Owens, Johnny Depp helped. Oh, right. Thank you. You're filling me in on my Swiss cheese brain. Johnny Depp helped the kid with the crack in the box. So he was terminally ill and he was trying to do things for other people. He had a heart transplant, right? And then was he getting a second heart transplant? And he said no, thank you. But then he wanted to do cool things for other people. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dilly. Good job. Good job. The ones were about the cam footage having the virus. You guys are so good to me. Oh, look, Crime Crocheter, my hyper focus is awesome. She just put the link in for the crack in the box. So yeah, and it was from Harsh, wasn't it? So if you share it and try to blow this kid up because he was at like 200,000. Was it from Harsh? Tell me who it was from that had done that and was asking all of us to share it. It could have been Living Lake Time even. I can't believe how my brain sometimes it just like all melts together, right? It was from Harsh. Thank you, Brian. Cool. Good to remember. You would think my brain would work a little bit better, but you guys see how much information I do hold in my head. So it's amazing that I can remember anything sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. We're just a little bit over an hour. I'll read a few more of your comments. There was something else that I wanted to share too. So let me read your comments and see if it comes back to me. Trinity may have been swept up in the Kylie investigation. He had 2 heart transplants, but he decided not to waste another heart. So he's giving it away. He just wants 100 prescribers and a YouTube channel, right? Subscribers. And he's at like 200,000. So yeah, Harsh was like trying to blow him up to like 1 million. Because I think at 200,000, you're like a silver medallion or something like that. And then at 1 million, you're like the gold medallion. It's like the highest status. Yeah. Harsh. Swiss cheese brain. We love you, Swiss cheese brain and all. Oh, well, and see, I like to be honest about it, not try to like cover, because that would just make me look even stupider, right? It's okay to be human, isn't it? I hope. Titanium Belt, Living Lake, and a few others allegedly is on it. So yeah, Harsh, Titanium Belt, Living Lake, and a few others. Not sure who started it, but please subscribe. Crack in the box. Yes, let's all get on that. I have seen several other creators sending people to the Little Boys channel. I'm doing okay for being 51. Still remember my name from time to time. I'm 55. So, it's those 4 kids that really took the brain right out of me. I think it's 100,000 for it, but The Rock and everybody he's going to get to 1 million for his little self has to get his wings. Oh, that is so sweet. When you don't look stupid, Pixie Knicker says that's because of the glasses. I love the glasses. I'll take them off for a minute. I haven't taken them off forever. Oh my goodness. And then the hair. The hair is so funny with the YouTube. It's either like spider webs. You can see where it looks like spider webs, or it's like cement. Like it's not just my hair, it's anybody's hair. So you either get cement hair or spider web hair. That's why so many of us just throw hats on. But yeah, my hair does funny things. Like it'll look fine 1 second and then it's like not fine. And then it looks like it's made of a brick. And I mean, like right now, it's like a board right there. and it's like spider webby over here. Anyway, who cares, right? It's just hair. Um, so yeah, I only started needing glasses a couple years ago, and I'm so into jewelry, and to me, glasses are kind of like more jewelry. So um, and I think they make you look smart. So, and it's something to hide behind because believe it or not, I'm actually a really shy person. So that's why I loved the whole COVID thing, like being a hermit and having the mask on. It really helped me reconnect with my inner hermit. It was hilarious. Because, yeah, a lot of people think I'm like an extrovert because I've fought against my introvertness my whole life. And then COVID made me realize that it's okay to embrace your introvert. And what better way to do it than to put yourself on YouTube, right? Because then it really tricks people. And I'm not trying to trick anybody. I mean, seriously, I'm really not. I just try to be real. That's what's important to me. And that's what I like about you guys, that you guys like me like that. It's all just great. So I think he's 63. Not sure who you're talking about, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and sign off, you guys. You're such a beautiful cult bunch. So yes, this is our Justice Warrior Xena cult. How's that? Thanks so much for joining me. Please take good care of yourself today and always. Please don't put too much pressure on yourself for the holidays. And yes, you keep being you. I'll keep being me. It was actually my 15-year-old who said that to me one day. He just said, "You do you." And I hadn't really heard that phrase. I'm sure it's a common phrase because I've used it a lot since then. But I just thought, what a clever thing for a 15-year-old kid to say. You do you. And I love saying that. Like, you do you, I'll be over here doing me, we're all good. So until tomorrow, I got my schedule back thanks to Jazz. So, yes, your routine: eat well, sleep well, drink your water, get your exercise, and always be nice to yourself. If you're not doing those things and you're a complete mess, it's okay. Just be nice to yourself. Just start there. Just be nice to yourself. You gotta meet yourself where you're at, right? And yeah, Brian says, my wife just asked me why I'm watching a beautiful lady for an hour. Oh, that's so cute. That's so sweet. I am the walrus, cuckoo, cuckoo. Yes, absolutely. Love your enthusiasm, and you remind me of watching uh Squirrels Like Squirrel Girl. Is that what you're saying? Squirrel Girl 17? Um, I'm not sure. That's not something I'm familiar with. The Skirrels, unless you're trying to say squirrels. I don't know. If you want to answer that real quick before we sign off, I'll give you an opportunity to do that, Michael McAllister. Because maybe you're talking about Squirrel Girl or Squirrels on Fire. Not sure. Confirm, deny. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for coming over and chatting, and we will see you tomorrow. I think that's it. Peace out. And if you haven't hit the like button yet, that's much appreciated if you don't mind hitting it on the way out. And adios, amigos. We will see you in the morning. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for being here.